People have this diluted idea that life should be fun and easy, or at the very least, it shouldn't be hard. But life has always been hard, and that's only changed recently. Consider some things that we take for granted. The first automobile using gas wasn't invented until 1885. It's a common myth that Ford invented it later, but he merely created the assembly line. The first home refrigerators weren't sold until 1913. The first commercial flight didn't take off until 1914. The television was invented in 1927, and penicillin wasn't discovered until 1928 and didn't become widely available for another decade. The microwave was invented in 1945. These inventions were all made a few decades before the computer, high-speed wireless internet, and cellular phones were invented. These inventions make life incredibly easy and fun, but we've only had this level of ease and comfort for less than 1% of our existence. Even the ability to cool your home with air conditioning didn't exist until 1902. Most of our time on this planet has been in misery. It was cold, challenging, and full of death. To put this reality into perspective, just 200 years ago, the child mortality rate in the United States was 46%. That's almost a coin flip. These were not happy times, but this was the state of things. We've eradicated so many hardships in this world that this number stands at less than 1%, and has been for almost 100 years. Life is hard, and modern technology has made many people believe it shouldn't be. This line of reasoning is problematic. Now, I'm not arguing that society should return to a time when survival was a full-time job and half your children perished. I'm only reminding you that humans evolved to deal with harsh circumstances. Now that we've removed many of those harsh circumstances, we've become weak and entitled. And perhaps worst of all, we've invented problems where there are none. If you're new here and you made it this far, you know what I'm talking about. There's a great line from The Matrix. He goes, "Did you know that the first Matrix was designed to be a perfect human world, where none suffered, where everyone would be happy? It was a disaster. No one would accept the program. Entire crops were lost." Some believe we lack the programming language to describe your perfect world, but I believe that as a species, human beings define their reality through suffering and misery. The perfect world was a dream that your primitive cerebellum kept trying to wake up from. That's Agent Smith. The epidemic of absence also makes an interesting point about our immune system in this regard. The author proposes that our immune system evolved in a much dirtier world. Most of human existence lacked antibiotics, vaccines, refrigeration, pasteurization, antiseptics, or even the knowledge of germs. Yet we managed to survive and replicate, or at least 46% of us anyway. Now that the world is incredibly clean and sanitized, the immune system has nothing to do. So instead of chilling out, it starts to attack all sorts of innocuous or helpful things. Food allergies and autoimmune conditions make the list. And surely to support his argument, the author shows that as a country's GDP increases, so does its incidence of allergy and autoimmunity issues. Just as our immune system rejects this perfect world, so does our psyche. Objectively speaking, in any metric of quality of life, material living conditions, leisure and social interactions, economic security and safety, governance and basic rights, natural living environment, this is the best time of history to be alive, and it's not even debatable for most of the world, especially anyone capable of watching this. Now, we manufacture crises because we need something to fight against. We come back to the problem of avoiding bad experiences. Our psyche doesn't do any better in utopia than our bodies do without exercise. Developing a thick skin is a metaphorical way of describing becoming more resilient, mentally tough, and less sensitive to criticism, rejection, or adversity. It's about maintaining composure, self-confidence, and emotional stability in facing challenges or negative feedback. Thick skin is necessary if you want to survive in this world. Even in this modern landscape, with all of our conveniences, humans are still human. People will hurt you, embarrass you, and sometimes simply ignore you. You can't legislate away the darkness of human behavior. You can't build safe spaces to protect yourself from microaggressions. How you feel about the world does not change the fundamentals of human nature. You either learn to deal with life, or life deals with you. Now, at this point, I have to make something clear. I'm not advocating for abuse, mistreatment, bullying, or any mistreatment toward one another. I'm a peace and love type guy, but I can be a peace and love type guy because I don't expect anyone to be a peaceful, loving type person. When Roosevelt said to walk softly and carry a big stick, he was talking about international diplomacy. But the point also holds on a local, personal level. In other words, you need to be capable. Being capable means standing up for yourself and learning to control your emotions. To do this, you need to do hard things. The beauty of doing hard things is that they typically kick your ass and drag your ego through the mud. But in suffering a setback, you become more rigid and more resilient. The moment you make your priority finding the easiest, most pleasurable way to make it through any situation, you've lost the battle twice. The first loss is immediate when you forfeit an opportunity to get strong. This loss feels like a victory because you won't suffer, at least not immediately. The second loss you'll suffer is the next time you face a similar, if not identical, situation. You'll be weaker and on your back foot, meaning that even if the problem has stayed at the same level, it's effectively gotten stronger because you have now lost the initiative and you've conditioned yourself to avoid it. An easy way to make sure that you train yourself to face these difficulties is to watch this video here, where I talk about how to build resilience and self-discipline. Until next time, the rest is up to you.